Alert Weather Extra. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your Tuesday evening with me. We've got a lot to talk about. Starting off with the night tonight. It is cold outside. Hopefully you are inside, warming up, drinking something hot, maybe even some soup. We've got clear skies too, and that's exactly why temperatures are tumbling. And we're also following our next chance of rain. Did you know we actually have some rain in the forecast this week? We could see anywhere between 1/2 of an inch, maybe some areas 3/4 of an inch of rain. So hopefully we get that. But right now we're not tracking any wet weather. We are dry for your Tuesday night, just very cold, because if we were seeing rain right now, it would certainly be snow, but that is not the case. We're just dealing with this cold air. We've got 32 degrees right now in St. Clair County. It's 37 in Tuscaloosa. More freezing temperatures further north in Blount, Coleman, and in Winston County. If you're in Haleyville, you need that heavy coat for any plans you have tonight. We're going to hold on to freezing temperatures and continuing to drop overnight into the 20s under that clear sky with a light wind out of the northwest. We'll see a southerly wind kicking in by tomorrow, but tomorrow morning is certainly going to be a cold one. 20s widespread, 23 in Coleman, 25 in Jefferson, 26 in Tuscaloosa. It is chilly heading out the door. So what do you need before stepping outside? Well, of course, grab that coat, extra layers, the scarves, the hat, maybe even some gloves. If you work outdoors tomorrow, you will certainly want some warmers for your hands. Warm up that car too before driving out in it, because your car needs to crank up some too, and that way it can be nice and toasty when you hop in it. Avoid wet or damp hair. We don't want anyone getting sick, and I say go ahead and add a cup of hot cocoa or coffee before stepping outside as well. Tomorrow afternoon, not bad at all. Still chilly, but not terrible. We're talking about milder temps for your Wednesday afternoon with highs in the upper 40s, but most spots in the low 50s. Could see some mid to upper 50s further down southwest central Alabama, like in Demopolis at 56, Utah 55, and 55 there in Aliceville. But as we continue into the week, Friday into Saturday, we're tracking this weak low pressure system that's going to swing through and not just impact central Alabama. So if you're traveling across the southeast for the new year, well, you may run into some rain depending on where you're headed. But this is that low pressure system that moves through. It's going to bring us our rain chances Friday afternoon, evening, overnight, and into early Saturday. We start to see improvements for the second half of your Saturday, and we'll dry up after that. Let's walk through our first slow weather headlines briefly. Tonight, freezing once again, sunny and a little bit warmer for your Wednesday afternoon. A cold start to your new year, but we are tracking milder temperatures and that next rain chance Friday and into Saturday. We'll take a look at that 10-day coming up here on First Slow Weather Extra in just a bit. So again, this is a quick glimpse at that 10-day forecast, but I do want to show you our rain chance breakdown because, hey, we are tracking our next chance of rain. We could see anywhere between 1/4 of an inch. I say an inch would be more on the higher side for those rainfall totals, but a first alert for wet weather to start off your weekend. If you have plans early Saturday, don't forget the umbrella and the rain jacket. And of course, you're going to want the rain gear heading to work on Friday. But we do have some dry days ahead of us, especially as we bring in the new year. New Year's Day looks dry and sunny, just a little chilly, but not terrible. And then we're tracking some warmer temperatures for the end of the weekend and drying back out for your Sunday and your Monday into next week. But meteorologist Matt Daniel has a look at the travel forecast to close out the year, along with the latest information on the forecast for that Alabama-Indiana game in Pasadena, California.
Well, one more day of 2025 and then we make our way into a brand new year. And if you're wondering what the weather's like across the country, maybe you're traveling or maybe you're staying at home and watching all the New Year's Eve festivities across the country, well, here's what it's looking like. We got a little disturbance across the Great Lakes in the Northeast, producing some snow showers as we go into your Wednesday. So there's going to be some snow flying in the air in parts of Chicago and then as you go into parts of New York. But the Southeast, we're starting to warm up a little bit. We're in the 50s and 60s. And of course, if you're heading out west to Pasadena for the big game, Alabama, Indiana, you can see Wednesday afternoon wet weather likely for central and southern portions of California. So hopefully you will have all your rain gear that you'll need. You're definitely going to need it Wednesday, and then of course going into Thursday, your travel forecast showing quiet weather once again across the southeast. Still some lingering snow showers, a little lake effect snow happening there. Very cold, of course, with temperatures in the 20s and teens in Cleveland and Chicago. And then once again, the main focus out in the western portions of the country, lots of wet weather. And unfortunately, wet weather is going to be possible even as we go into the big game for Alabama. So here's a look at the football forecast. This is one of our high resolution data or models showing lots of rain impacting Pasadena, California as we go into Thursday morning. So that big old parade that everyone enjoys watching could be quite messy, which is unfortunate for all those marching bands. I've been in the band and I know what it's like when it's marching in the rain. Not fun at all. And of course the woodwinds can't even play at all because that ruins their instruments. Thursday at 10 o'clock, more rain possible, and of course when we get to about 3 p.m. Central Time, that's when the game starts. I'm hoping the bulk of that rain starts to move out. Some of the models are showing the wettest part of the day is in the morning and drying out hopefully by the afternoon and evening. So I don't think it's going to rain the entire time, but we're going to probably still have to dodge those showers. And as you can see with those temperatures, they're going to be hovering right around the low 60s and cooling into the 50s. So here's your official forecast for the Rose Bowl on Thursday. Whether you're traveling there or you're watching it on television, we're looking at those temperatures in the 60s, cooling to the 50s with scattered showers possible. So we'll be watching that very closely over the next couple of days. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much, Matt. It definitely feels like winter outside and I'm cold right now. But the time is running out for you to take part in the magic of lights. And I say go ahead and do it. Jonathan Hoppy is live in Bessemer and hopefully staying warm at Alabama Splash Adventure with the details and all you need to know. Hey, Jonathan, how you hanging up out there?
Hey, Tonia. Well, it is cold out here, but as you know, you've been out here a couple of times this season, I know. You don't have to get out of the car, so that is the beauty of coming out here tonight, and you can come until 10 o'clock. That's when they close down for the evening. And the holiday special, that is the Magic of Lights, it ends on Saturday. So let's talk a little bit more now about what you can expect if you're coming out here. We have Alex Ramsey with us with Alabama Adventure. Alex, thanks for your time, and still a few more days, even though the holidays have passed for many, to get out here and enjoy these lights, right?
That's right. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I think they wrote a song about that.
I think so too.
Yeah. No, the Christmas is over, but it's still the holiday season. It's still, a great time for families to come together, kind of continue that family tradition. It's our third year doing Magic of Lights, and everyone just seems to love it. We look at all the reviews and stuff, and everyone just seems to really love it. And we're growing every year. We keep adding more and more lights, more and more stuff. We've added new stuff on Main Street, a lot of stuff on Main Street, actually. So it is a little cold, but it is definitely worth getting out of your car, warming up with a little hot chocolate, maybe warm up around the fire, have some s'mores. It's a great time to be at Alabama Adventure.
And if you come out tonight, right, you pay one time and you can go through again.
That's right, yeah. So tonight, it's our last double drive through Tuesday. So you pay once, go through twice. So kind of double your value, you could say. So again, a great night to come out. And, also, if you already have your 2026 season pass for Alabama Adventure, you get a discount on top of that as well. So if you don't already have your season pass, now's a great time to get it. You get a discount for Magic of Lights. Plus, you get fun all summer long with our amusement park and water park.
So still a chance to get out here to Magic of Lights, closing tonight at 10. We just saw a car go by. Folks have been coming out here since it's gotten dark, and they've lit this place up. Ending on Saturday. That is when everything shuts down here at Alabama Adventure. This Saturday, the 3rd of January. So, Alex, thanks for your time. I'm Jonathan Hoppy here in Bessemer, WBRC 6 News on your side.
Teachers, promote literacy in your class by scheduling a book reading with WBRC. Scan the QR code now to help your kids soar to new heights with Soar with 6.
All right, the end of the year is upon us, and I thought I'd look back at some of the warmest, coldest, wettest, snowiest New Year's Eve ever on record. Birmingham saw 79 degrees back in 1959. Can you believe 79 was the warmest New Year's Eve ever on record? Yeah, it's not as warm as I was anticipating. I thought at least we'd see an 80 in there, and Tuscaloosa saw 80 back in 1963, and Anniston saw 76. Just several years ago, back in 2021, where the average high typically is right around 55. Now, on the flip side of this, the coldest New Year's Eve ever on record. Now, these are probably the records from the morning time. Temperatures in Birmingham in 1983 got down to 9 degrees. Tuscaloosa saw 10 in 1983. And to wrap up 1983, it was a cold year all around. Anniston got down to about 12. Now, we aren't going to be that cold this year. Specifically in the mornings, we're looking at temperatures in the 20s and 30s early tomorrow, topping out in the lower 50s. But for New Year's Day itself, we'll get back into the upper 50s. Now, the cold air makes me want to think of snow, and I thought I'd look back at how much snow we've seen on New Year's Eve ever on record. Well, listen, back in 2000, that was the last time that Birmingham even saw a trace of snow on New Year's Eve itself. The record, which I think this will hold for at least a little while, 8 inches in Birmingham from 1963. Tuscaloosa saw just shy of 3 inches that same year, and it was a snowy year for Anniston as well. New Year's Eve back in 1963 going into 1964, they picked up 6 inches of snow. Now, looking at the rain. How interesting is this? From 1973, Birmingham saw fairly wet New Year's Eve, just shy of 1 3/4 inches. Tuscaloosa saw a little over 2 inches back in 1981 into 1982, and Anniston saw just shy of 2.5 inches of 1973. Now for us, we won't expect any rain on New Year's Eve or really New Year's Day, but boy do we need it. We're going into the year of 2026 with a drought in place. We'll have much more on the forecast for you New Year's Eve and New Year's Day throughout the rest of Weather Extra.
Thanks, Megan. It's crazy to see that we had 8 inches of snow back in 1963. Well, completely different story this year. Scary moments, though, this weekend when a woman in Illinois came face to face with one of nature's scariest sights, a tornado. As Ben Smith tells us, she credits neighbors for helping her overcome the traumatic event.
A terrifying sight Sunday afternoon in Long Creek when Tiffany Campani saw a tornado barreling towards her home.
It came from that way, straight towards the house, shook my whole house. I grabbed my daughter and pinned her underneath me and crouched down, and then the roof fell off.
She says her husband was stuck at the store and started screaming for him once she realized the roof was gone.
I thank God that my best friend was with me and her husband, and they helped me through the panic of it all. My neighbors down that way and that way bust through the door as soon as it was over and grabbed the kids, and we all went over to the neighbor's house, and it was I'm very grateful for the whole neighborhood.
A couple of miles away at the corner of Walmsley and Sand Creek, one home's garage and roof completely collapsed. Greg Bandelow lives down the road and came over to make sure nobody was trapped inside.
The deputy sheriff was here, and nobody in the house, so we're kind of glad of that, but they found out they were in Mexico. And you get a call in Mexico that your house got hit by a tornado, that's devastating, I would say.
Bandelow said the family had just moved into the home a few weeks ago. Over at the Campani house, cleanup is in the early stages.
We're getting all of our stuff that we can salvage out of the house, and thankfully we have insurance, so they're here to help us work through the process. I've never been through any of this in my whole life. No fires, no tornadoes, no water, no nothing. This is our first house, so it's very shocking.
Here's an example of how nasty the weather is in parts of the Northeast. You can hear the wind howling along the banks of Lake Erie in Buffalo, New York. You can also see the waves as they're being driven by the wind. And the conditions along Lake Erie have produced what's known as sage. That's where a body of water like Lake Erie has its floor exposed due to the wind pushing all the water in a single direction. Eventually that water rebounds and the lake returns to normal. But that can take minutes or hours. And when the weather dips into the teens and 20s, you need to be careful if you're out in extreme cold. You could be at risk of serious health conditions. Gary has the story.
As winter weather blankets most of the country with snow and freezing temperatures, the cold can also heighten the risk of dangerous health conditions like hypothermia and frostbite. Health experts say these conditions can come in varying stages. Mild hypothermia can cause intense freezing and shivering.
When you get into moderate and severe ranges, you'll have confusion, decreased responsiveness.
Jenna Morgan at The Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center says frostbite symptoms can be seen on the skin.
You can have some skin changes that manifest as changes in color and texture of your skin. But eventually, once the frostbite sets in, you will have decreased sensation to that area.
Morgan says the elderly and young children are the most vulnerable to developing cold-related health conditions because they often have decreased awareness and mobility. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends getting medical help immediately, but if you can't, warming the center of a person's body is the best alternative to treating hypothermia.
Apply warm packs or, hot water packs to your chest, your armpits, your back, and that way when circulation comes back to the core, it hits the warmest spots.
To prevent hypothermia or frostbite before it begins, Morgan recommends bundling up when heading out into frigid temperatures.
Wear a hat and a scarf in a warm coat. Avoid going outside with wet hair.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
And that leads me to wanting to talk about our 10-day forecast. We have really cold conditions here, and I highly recommend not to wash your hair at night, or I would say in the morning. Try to do it at night so that it has enough time to dry before you head to work or leave the house the next morning, because it's just too cold for that, guys. And there's too much going around, flu, sicknesses, all that. We want you to stay healthy, warm, and safe. We've got freezing temperatures overnight. As a matter of fact, it's another hard freeze into your early Wednesday morning. 20s to get you started in the morning, and then we'll see highs in the low 50s. But if you have plans to be out late for your New Year's Eve, well, it's going to be a cold one. We're bringing in the new year with temps in the 30s, a light wind, so not a major wind chill factor or a component, I would say, but the skies will be clear, so temperatures will drop quickly. We bring in your New Year's Day, and it's not too bad. Still really cold, freezing temps right around upper 20s, low 30s, slightly warmer for the afternoon. We'll see highs in the mid to upper 50s, but that's all ahead of our next rain chance. Expect more clouds around Thursday and definitely overcast to cloudy skies for your Friday. And we'll see rain moving in for the second half of your Friday with a weak low pressure system that swings through. This is right around 6 p.m. and you can see that there will be some periods of more widespread coverage at times, and then we start to see some breaks in the rain as we near your early Saturday morning. Saturday is still going to hold a 40% chance for some morning showers, but expect some breaks in those clouds by the afternoon and the rain moving out by the afternoon as well. So if you have plans for the second half of the day, expect drier conditions and clear skies for your Saturday night with a mix of sun and clouds as we bring in Sunday. Sunday chilly for the start, 40s, and then we'll see highs in the low 60s. Not bad for the afternoon. Take a quick look at afternoon highs Sunday. Definitely a lot milder and warmer than what we've been experiencing early this week. We're talking about upper 50s, low 60s on the map, right around 61 in Tuscaloosa, 60 in Birmingham, 59 in Clay County. And then we get to the end of really, well, I'd say, middle to end of next week is when we start to see a stalled system. And that's what I want to talk to you more about right here. Take a look at our first weather headlines. Before we do anything else, I do want to show you what I'm tracking as far as those headlines go. A reminder that we have a freeze again tonight. Secondly, sunny and a little bit warmer for your Wednesday afternoon. And third, rain returning for our area Friday into Saturday. But this is beyond that 10-day forecast. So this is what I want to walk you through. Notice across the U.S. we've got a couple of different systems that we're going to be tracking that could happen. Again, things can and possibly will change, but what we're watching is an Alberta clipper. That's going to happen first, and then we see that stalled system that might try to bring some wintry mix to our north and west. But most models here across central Alabama still indicate that we could see some more wet weather around. This is January the 12th. This brings us into the first full week of January, or of the new year, I would say. Here we are, January the 13th. But I could see, and I was tracking earlier today, that there could be some lingering moisture around beyond that 10-day forecast. So more unsettled weather in the days ahead, but much of this week still very quiet and calm. If you want to get more updates and stay up to date with us when things change in the forecast, be sure to take a second right now. Bring out your cell phone, your mobile device, scan this QR code, and you'll be able to download the free First Alert Weather app in your Google or your Apple store. We want you to stay nice and safe, but take another full look at that 10-day forecast. A reminder that we have a freeze once again overnight. We'll have another look at it coming up right here, First Alert Weather Extra, after the break.
Explore the wonders of weather with Weather in the Classroom. Scan the QR code now to help your kids soar to new heights with Soar with 6.
Welcome back in, everyone. This is the end of First Alert Weather Extra. Let's take a final look at our 10-day forecast. I want to wish you a happy new year. If you have plans for your New Year's Eve, just bundle up. Bring out that heavy coat, the fur. Look cute while you do it, but definitely stay nice and warm. Rain returning for us Friday and into Saturday. And then next week, we start off dry, but we look a little more unsettled as we look closer to 10 days out from now. Be sure to get more updates tonight at 9 and at 10. But before we go, I have some lovely viewer pictures to show you because we love to share your images. We start tonight with a look at some cirrus clouds as recently seen in Bessemer. Leanne Wyatt sent this picture in for us, and in it you can see what looks like a rainbow in the clouds near the top. That's light iridescence. It's actually light diffracting through the ice crystals, which are way up in the atmosphere, sometimes as high as 60,000 feet. In Alabama, these clouds are usually seen between 20 and 25,000 feet high. And from high clouds to low sun, this is an absolutely gorgeous sunset along a lake. Thanks to Bob Worthy for sending that picture in to us. And how about this sunset in Pell City? So peaceful. And you can see a jet streaking across the sky. It's absolutely picture perfect. Thanks to Donna Sorensen for the picture. If you want to send in an image, please do it. We love to share them, laugh at them, smile at them, all of that. You can send it in, or you can send in your photos through the First Alert Weather app. All you have to do is scan this QR code on your screen or go to your app store on your phone and search WBRC First Alert Weather. Download it and stay up to date on the latest forecast. More updates tonight at 9 and 10. Have a safe and wonderful Tuesday evening.